Welcome to the program. This morning we'll talk about the August blues that continue into September. We'll take a look at the Australian economy and we'll ask the question of Paul Rickard, is CBA a buy yet? I'm Marty Switzer.
I'm Paul Rickard.
And we're mad about money. Morning, Paul.
Morning, Marty.
So, issues with North Korea, concerns in the US around tax. It's been going on for some time. North Korea obviously being a new issue, but these August blues or market blues are continuing into the month of September. Yeah,
very hard for our market to make progress with what's going on in North Korea and the US market just selling off a little bit last night.
Yeah.
Obviously some big issues there, particularly around the geopolitical issues, but also around the debt ceiling, what's going to happen with Trump and so on. But look, I guess at the moment, while you've got these issues, it's very hard for the market to go up. September is historically a bad month for the US market, which doesn't help as well. It is the start of summer's over. Everyone goes back to school and college. They come back from that long weekend, often sell the market, which is exactly what happened last night. I think we might be in for just a tough couple of weeks until this whole thing is resolved.
Is it a buying opportunity?
Yeah, but I just don't think yet. I mean, I think that's...
What are the catalysts that can take the market higher now? Earnings season hasn't done it.
Well, earnings season doesn't. I mean, put North Korea off, and then you would expect the US will go back to what it's been doing now for the last several years. That is, it's grinding higher. Profits are up, growth is up, across all nations. So the underlying fundamentals are good for the market. But I just guess when the markets rally strongly, you get this thing called North Korea hanging over it. Until that sort of goes away, it's just going to be a little bit hard for the market to make headway. And I guess in our situation, with the currency above 80 cents or near 80 cents, we're going to struggle.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Aussie economy. Pretty good wage growth number out this week, which has encouraged
that didn't get a lot of coverage, 1.2% for the quarter. So everyone's been talking about the wages drought. Well, maybe wages are
growing.
Show you some growth. GDP is a big number today, Marty, at 11:30.
Watch that closely.
Yeah, I mean, I think sort of the numbers gone up or been revised up a little bit. There's some data yesterday, so maybe a quarterly number 0.8, 0.9, maybe getting it back up towards 2%. Some economists still think by the end of the year, we'll be rolling at over 3%, which is good for the,
Rate hike, no chance this year?
Look, I think a rate hike, given what the RBA said yesterday, is just off the agenda, unless the US gets tougher. And at the moment, the betting on the US increasing rates again this year is still less than 50-50. So, although I think a rate hike should be on the cards, I don't think it's going to happen. So.
Yeah. And in terms of earnings season, large caps got sold off, particularly Telstra and CBA. Yeah. But let's focus on CBA. Is it a buy yet?
Look, last week I started to think it was, and I just think that there's the negativity. I've never seen, this is tall poppy syndrome gone mad. Everyone wants to take it down, and even a whole lot of financial commentators. Everything's being brought up, not just about Austrac, but around insurance, financial planning, Storm Financial. I heard people last night banging on about Bank West, the acquisition back in 2008-9. I mean, these things just don't go away, and now we've got news overnight that IMF, the litigation fund, is joining in that sort of class action. So we've got CBA shareholders suing other CBA shareholders. They're the people who are going to pay. Yeah. So look, I think there's so much noise. It's going to be really hard for the CBA to sort of get clean wind or clean air for some time. Maybe the appointment of a new CEO, and I guess that's probably what the chairman has to do, is accelerate that. Yeah. I think the betting now has to be an outsider, simply because...
Any candidates been mentioned?
No candidates.
Rob Whitfield's name
he was mentioned, but then he's just gone onto the board.
He's joined the board, did he?
On Monday, so as a non-executive director, so I assume he's now out of the running. Yeah. There's talk about Ross McEwen, who was the group executive of...
He was at RBS in the UK.
He's now currently the MD of RBS in the UK. Whether he might want to come back, he's a Kiwi, might come back to Australia to run CBA. He's a former CBA group executive of retail banking. I don't know. I mean, I think if I was the board, you really got to accelerate that, because I just can't see how they can get out of this sort of... Everyone wants to have a go at them. It's just not going to go away quickly. So. Look, I'm not in the buy territory just yet. I mean, if it gets sold off a bit more, maybe a low $70, it's worth it. Just worth watching it. But I think I'm probably just a little bit cautious. So probably, yes, last week I said yes. This week I've changed my mind. I'm just going to wait a bit longer.
That's all we've got time for. I'm Marty Switzer.
I'm Paul Rickard.
And we're mad about money.